Hi, I'm Craig Strickland with Banyan Studios, and we're starting a three-part video series today on how to turn a pen. And this is the finished product right here. That's what we're looking for. I don't know about you, but in life in general, I tend to take the sort of approach that's ready, fire, aim. And that often creates all kinds of problems because it doesn't give me a chance to focus on a strategy before I start. Well, there's no way you can build pens that way. You have to have a process that you go through. So in this three-part series, we're going to take you through that process. And step one is going to be the actual material and tools that we use. That's a raw blank of wood that we use. We'll actually cut that to fit these barrels and put these barrels right down the center of them. And we'll use cutting tools like this knife, my favorite knife. You can see it's bent where I caught a piece of walnut and about broke it half in two. It's my favorite knife. I use it more than anything. It has a carbide blade, as you can see. And then I use smaller tools on smaller projects. That also is a carbide tipped blade. And then just a traditional carving tool. This is a parting tool that I use to cut wood in half. So I think we're going to have a great time. I want you to be there with us. So if you do me a big favor and push that like button and ring the bell, then you'll get notified every time we do a new video. So the very first step in turning a pen is picking out a blank that can be wood or acrylic, or it can even be deer antler like this one. Here's one that's a thin blue line pen. You can see when it will be finished. But it starts with picking out a piece of wood and taking the brass barrel that comes in a pen kit and marking the length of it. You want the pen to be, the blank to be just a tiny bit longer than the barrel. And then I'm going to take another barrel and I'm going to do the same thing, making it just a tiny bit longer because I need to drill these, and as I drill them, I want to make sure that they are square to the barrel. I found my square, and now I'm going to use it to make sure that the pen is square, or the blank is square. Now, if you don't have a square, you can just guess at it. It's not that critical. There are other ways to level it out. Now we come over to the bandsaw, and what I want to do is cut it the size of the barrel. So we're going to turn the bandsaw on. Before I do that, though, I'm going to get some safety glasses. I never like to work in my shop without safety glasses on, so let me grab those real quick. Okay, so now I have my safety glasses on. I'm ready to turn the bandsaw on and go to work. We're going to go ahead and do it on the radial arm saw just because it's quick and fast, but you could use a hand saw. You could use just about any kind of saw you can find. All you need to do is just make two cuts. So I'm going to use the radial arm saw, and I want to get it just as close to the line as I can. Now I've got two pieces of wood that you can see. They're made out of poplar and they have a pink hue to them because they've been mineralized, which is to say it's the soil around those trees had certain minerals in it, which brings out the pink and blank, and should make a great pen. We'll see. So now you can see that the cuts that I made in the blanks allow for the barrel to fit completely in it with a little overhang on either end. So, like most of the pen turning that we do, you don't have to have a drill press to do this with. It makes life a lot easier, but you can do it with a drill. You just have to be very, very careful because you want to make sure that your barrel is perpendicular to the end of your wooden stock. And this little machine actually is a clamp that holds this in perfect center, or at least it should. So let's see. Yep. Now all kinds of problems happen when you're doing anything with wood, and a good part of it's just problem solving. You just have to figure out how to work around the problem that you're stuck with. And if you're not willing to problem solve, you won't enjoy this much. Okay, now we have the blanks. I'm about to use some super glue, or CA glue, as it's sometimes called, in order to put the barrels inside these pens, or pen blanks, so that they don't move. Now you want to wear gloves simply because that CA glue, first of all, if it gets on your skin and you don't get it right off, you touch your fingers together, they will absolutely stick and won't come loose. Now I'm ready to put these barrels inside the pen, and you can see that they move around like so. One of the things I want to make sure of with these barrels is that they're scruffed up so they can take that glue easily. The thing about using this CA glue is you have to work very quickly. I've got a can of activator right here, so when I pour this on the barrel and put the barrel in, it'll activate just right away. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking a thick CA glue. As I turn it, I'm going to put the barrel down inside of the blank, and I want it to go all the way in. You can see it went all the way in. And now I want to get a paper towel and some activator, and I'm just going to spray it. It doesn't take much, just a little activator in it. So we're going to change this drill bit out and replace it with a barrel bit, which actually does a couple of things. It actually drills the inside of the brass barrel where glue may have gotten in, and it needs to be very smooth when you put the pen insert in. And then also because it's got blades right here, it's going to make the blank itself completely, perfectly perpendicular to the pen. And if you look closely, you can see the barrel is deeper in this end because I made the wooden pin a little bit, or the blank just a little bit longer. So now I have to be able to see the barrel flush with the pin, with the blank, before I go on. Otherwise, when it comes time to assemble the pin, it won't assemble. Now, if you look closely, you can see the barrel is even with the wood. Now again, I can see it, but I can't see it quite from the outside. So I want to go a little bit deeper. We're not too quick to show our mistakes, are we? Well, I am. So I'm going to show you the mistake that I made right there. I drilled through the side of it as I was using this for a stop. Now, I don't think it's bad enough that I can't use it. And so we're going to carry on, but I might not be able to use it. We'll just have to see. Okay, now we have both barrels drilled out, both blanks drilled out rather, and we've got the barrels glued into the inside of them. And you can see we've got them level now with the brass, and we're ready to turn them. So there we have it. So that's the way we want to put it on the mandrel. There needs to be a collar on either end of each block. You see that collar is stuck on there. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to come off anyway. These are additional collars. Now for the middle one, you need actually two, one for each blank that you're going to put on there. Then I'm going to put the blank on. One more collar. You see these collars have got some glue on them. Now you can see this is a mini style tabletop lathe. Mine's made by Shop Fox, but you can't really go wrong. This is a beginner's lathe, but almost all turners that I know at least have this lathe, and then they have a big lathe. This is what they learned on, and then they got a big lathe so they could turn bigger products. So this is the headpiece and controls it's where the motor is. You can see there's the belt, and this controls the speed of the mandrel. So this is the headpiece. This is the tailpiece. And in turning bowls on a bigger lathe, having that tailpiece in place oftentimes keeps your lathe, or keeps your wood from jumping off the lathe, which happens with some regularity. So I see I'm lined up, and this tailpiece has a lock-in mechanism on the back side and a mechanism that locks once you've tightened it down. You've got a mechanism here that now allows you to turn. This piece here is called a banjo, and this banjo is made to hold the tool rest that you're going to use. And so you always want to cut just below the center line. So you see the center line is right there. I want my tool rest to be just a little lower than that. And if it's not, it creates problems for you when it comes to turning. The wood won't turn well, and I sometimes adjust it 2 or 3 times before I'm happy with where it is. But you're cutting below the midline, so you want to be below the midline right there. So I hope you've learned a bit about how you begin the process of building a pen. That's phase 1, and we're ready now to move on to phase 2. That'll be our next video, but for now, if you could hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, I sure would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.